involved in the process. Sometimes I wasn't. I walk into a restaurant. I walk into someone else's house. I'm not involved in the process there. And therefore, since these can be easily confused, so therefore the Rabbanan extended it. I wanted to go back for a moment to the first mission we had, which said a person makes a neder from meat. He's not allowed to eat chicken. He's not allowed to eat venison. He's not allowed to eat regular meat, right? But he is allowed to eat fish and grasshoppers. When it comes to nidarim, to oaths, we follow what's called the Lashon B'nei Adam. What terms do people... I made an oath. What does that mean? The term that I used, what does that term include? What does it not include? And I was just thinking, if we say we're having a meat meal, is it a meat meal? We're having a meat meal. What does that include?
For our community, that we know it includes poultry or fowl. But in the general community, that's probably going to be...
I don't know. I don't know about the general community. I know in the Jewish community, a meat meal is chicken or beef. Right?
Meat.
That is a meat meal.
But that's only because that's how we defined it here. If we didn't define it,
perhaps I'm not sure. Perhaps.
Why?
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
If we didn't define it like that, why would a chicken be any different than salmon?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think the larger communal reference frame would be earth-based mammals. Bison, bovine.
I don't know. Be curious to ask Siri at some point.
See, I
what
also
does meat include?
Just as I don't still understand the chicken and the meat, I also don't understand.
What don't you?
Well, hold on.
Do you not understand it? Do you not agree, or you're not comfortable with it?
Well,
meaning, we saw clearly it's not min haTorah.
Right.
Right. The question
is
it midrabanan? Is it not? The halachic ruling is it's rabbanan. They made a safeguard. You might say, well, why do we need that safeguard? But that's the reality.
I basically would all of it agree with Rabbi Yossi Haglili, even with the deer, right? So it does, just like it doesn't make sense to me the chicken thing, it doesn't make sense to me to exclude the deer. If you're going to include the cow, the goat, and
that's what Gedi means. That's what Gedi means.
Okay, so if that's what
if you're not involving the comparison to nevela, if you're looking at the simple pasuk, the Torah prohibits Gedi. Gedi is a domesticated behemoth.
But if we're gonna take Gedi specifically, we should be looking at the cooking specifically, right? So
had it said it once, we would have. But that goes back to the legend of the map. Saying it 3 times is not 2, but you're really better, but it's taking it to another level within the context of the cooking. Right? Had it said it once, 100%. I think everyone agrees. Had the Torah said this once, the prohibition would be against cooking. That Gedi, the domesticated animal. So what we're left with is a rabbinic safeguard that was put in place and memorialized as the set halacha. Right? So one might say, I wish they hadn't, or I don't feel it necessary, but that's the reality. Janet.
So, as we get closer to a messianic time when the Sanhedrin is reassembled, more people will have Yirat Hashem, so by then it might not be necessary. It really might not.
I will give that an unqualified maybe.
I if people really have Yirat Hashem, then they would have enough fear to Just do that separate
Okay, look, a lot of the
tablecloth and put the chicken
a lot
with
of the safeguards are because, right, we ourselves don't give it enough importance to distance ourselves, so therefore we need to be distanced, right? But when a person, right, again, an unqualified maybe, I don't know, right? I don't even say, Rabbi, you said, she asking now, you said cheeseburger,
not cheeseburger.
Where is it?
Not cheeseburger, because that's the
Chicken cheeseburger. Chicken burger with cheese, right? It's interesting, though, I'll just end with this. The Gemara goes through, if you want to know what blood tastes like, and blood is prohibited, right? So you could have, fish, one could have, right? The blood of fish is not prohibited. Right? And if you want to know what basar b'chalav tastes like, right? What milk and meat tastes like, so it says some type of food that has that taste, or maybe even says the kachal, to use the udder, right, from the animal that was shechted. And the way I see it, Hashem is making life that much easier for us. Because nowadays, you could have a chicken cheese, you can have a beef, something that tastes like a beef cheeseburger, and actually it's vegan. Right? There's no milk, there's no meat, right? It's interesting. I love melting cheese on things. That's one of my comfort foods. I love melted cheese. So growing up, right, thankfully I never had one, but what always was like, oh, cheeseburger, that must really be good. That must really be good. And then when all of these soy, came, and actually when we lived in Israel, there was a burger that really tasted like meat, but it was parva. So now he was so excited. He said, I can make you a cheeseburger now. I said, thanks anyhow. I'm not so interested. But at this point, we have the ability. Maybe Hashem saw how these things would get harder and harder and harder for us. I told you I was at an OU convention last year. I had my first bacon cheeseburger. Of course, it was kosher. Right? I was at a kosher restaurant in Yerushalayim called Cravings, and also in Michigan, I think it was called Craves there. And also I had a bacon hamburger they serve. Obviously they use lamb and they make it taste like bacon. Do they do a good job? Couldn't tell you. Tasted pretty good to me, but I don't know what to compare it to. But all of these things are our way of navigating our way through this world, accepting that there is a Torah law, accepting that there is rabbinic law, and keeping ourselves well within the parameters of Am Yisroel as we've managed to sustain and not just survive but thrive for thousands of years. We'll call it over here. Where's my man Dove? Yeah,
Thank you, Rabbi.
you're very welcome.
I think
Rick, you want to turn that off?
I think you and Ellen are still going to have some.
I went to hear